All right, folks, good morning. I started a little late here, but we're good to go. Um, let's see what we got. Good morning. Okay. All right, so hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Let's go ahead and discuss some of what happened on Friday. Um, now, actually, hold on for a second. Sorry, my computer's in the way. Okay, now we're good. All right, so on Friday, we had quite a few stocks that were moving. So I'm just going to go over a few of them right now. One of them was Momo. The actual name of this company is Hello Group. Not sure what they do. I haven't really looked them up, but a couple days in a row, they showed some good signs of opportunity. So here was the 8th, and then here was the 9th, which was Friday here. And as you can see, stock gapped up. We identified this very early in the session, pre-market actually, and this one just started to move. So it had one move up, pull back for a second, moved up again, pull back. Then at that point, the only real recovery after that was here, and then that was it. So had two good moves up that were exploitable. One that I would say you could exploit it but didn't go anywhere. But nevertheless, that took the stock from at the start of the day somewhere around $7.10 to the high of the day around $9.50. So very nice move up. A lot of you were able to take advantage of that. Hold on for 1 second. There you go. Sorry, my camera was off center. Now, actually, still. There we go. All right, next up is Rent. Now, that stock, let's take a look at it. RENT. All right, so Rent had two good days in a row. This was the 8th over here. And then next up is the 9th. Now, the 9th, it started off below the VWAP range, or the VWAP channel, if you prefer. But after that, went sideways for a while, and then finally turned back up. Now, right here, it would be, I could reasonably see why someone might try to take the move here. Me personally, I'd rather wait until things had settled down a little bit more. In other words, the range on these bars are a lot larger. I do tend to believe that once things have settled down a bit, then we look for the reversal. So that's basically what happened here. Nice move up, and then just continue. So you had one pretty good wave there, pause, and then a resumption here to the high of the day. So basically the stock went from starting the session right here, where first it looked like it was going to come back and then it failed. So we kind of waited for a bit, and first it looked like it was going to go somewhere, but it didn't. Then later on it did. So in short, this started the day at 208 and peaked out at 285. Right, next up is Summit. Now, Summit didn't actually trade very well at all, although it did end up higher on the day. You can see like it's had some really great days prior, but by the time we got to the 9th, where's this, the start of the day is right there. So by the time we got to the 9th, the start of the day here, it looked like Summit was going to bounce back. Immediately at the open, buyers came in, pushed the stock up, then it sold off. bounced back again, then it sold off, and then after that, pretty much was flat for most of the day, slightly going up at the end. So even though it ended higher on the day, at least higher than where it started the day, wasn't really a good move. So that one turned out to be, pretty useless in my opinion. ACLX was a good mover too. This was one of the stocks identified by one of the members in the coaching room, and first part of the move was decent. Second part of the move was okay, but it didn't really go anywhere. In the second part, just went a little bit higher than that was it. Started to come back, didn't go anywhere. Then after a long time, you finally get a breakout towards the end of the day. First one failed. Well, actually, it's more like just after the middle of the day, and then at the end of the day, you got your final move, which was actually the only one that really looked decent. Now this one, I know a number of you caught this, or at least you spotted it when it happened. Since this is one of the ones I mentioned, looked like it was starting to move at the end of the day, and it did. So hopefully some of you caught some of that. But that was it. It was like the end of the day move, and then other than that, the beginning of the day was pretty rough. Now one of the better ones that was brought up by one of the members was Paramount. And this is, of course, a stock that I've mentioned quite a few times before. This one just started off the day. At first, it moved down. You can see that the candle went lower first, then turns around, goes up. So basically, this was more than exploitable. The market then reversed, started to go up. So one of the members pointed this one out as it was moving. Good morning, Jay. And had a very solid move up, and then that was it. After that point, I mean, there was a pullback here, but didn't go too far. So the start of the day was where the real action was. You did have also this bounce there, but again, didn't go too far. So these two, definitely something you could have attempted, but they didn't really play out. Billy actually turned out to be another one that moved surprisingly yesterday, Friday that is, last session. So gap tire, and basically just went up, came down, went up again, and that was it. Had a little bounce here, but for the most part, Billy was very exploitable at the open. A number of you did spot that one, so good job on that. One stock that was brought to our attention by one of the members was DocuSign. Now, it didn't have exactly the right profile at the beginning of the day, so I prioritized Momo, Rent, and some others. But this one did turn out to be a good mover after a while. So after the first 5 minutes was fairly rough. Hard to say where it's going to go. But the movement was due to earnings, so that was why it was up. So usually I look at the earnings pre-market activity to see if it looks very stable or not. This one looked in between, so we skipped the watching at the open. But after the open, we took a look at it, and then it started to move up, so that was a good one. I did track this for quite a while, so after the first run, pullback, and this, we were keeping an eye on it. But after a while, it just kind of petered out, and that was it. Now, there were lots of other stocks that were moving on Friday besides these. But as I mentioned, we had quite a few, excuse me, we had quite a few stocks that looked like good opportunities on Friday. So Friday was a fairly opportunity-rich day. So hopefully most of you were able to take advantage of, at least as far as what I saw from the reports for Friday. Most of you did pretty well. Now, Ericsson, not Sony Ericsson, but just Ericsson. This one, I put this on the radar as something to watch, and it did gap higher, but as I mentioned, hard to say where it's going to go. This stock is easy to borrow, so it was shortable. And this one did the classic open and fade. So I'm not sure if any of you short sold this, but if you did, that was a good one. These are the kind of situations that I feel are best to short sell after something is up a lot, and then it just can't find any more buyers and it starts to fade. Usually they happen right at the open. They start to fade pre-market. So that one was pretty simple to take advantage of if you did. And so on. Okay. Now, as of right now, let's take a look at what appears to be decent opportunities for this morning. All right. So this one, I did point this out in the room, but wasn't something I was tracking closely because the volume was a little spotty. But you can see this stock, AMBRX Biopharma, was up very sharply. Took it from $1 up to $4.50, then back, and then a nice bounce at the end of the day. So I do remember pointing it out, but wasn't something that was necessarily on my radar at the beginning of the day. I did see the movement pre-market, but at the open, this just went straight up. So the pre-market action for this on Friday was actually fairly solid, but after that point, oh, that's why I didn't look at it. Sorry, correction, forget about the stock. That's why. I was trying to figure out why I wasn't watching it. I just realized why. Moving on. All right, for today, we've got, that wasn't a NASDAQ stock, that was a New York Stock Exchange stock. So I saw it, but obviously we're not trading it in the room. We're only trading NASDAQ stocks. All right, so let's see what else we got. All right, HTGM had a pretty good day on Friday, but it's still under $1. So not going to put this on the watch list to watch at the open, but I will be monitoring this stock to see if it gets to the price range that we want, which will be over $1, at which point I'll definitely be interested in taking advantage of it. But for now, I'll just add it to the bigger list. By the way, folks, I haven't published this list yet. I will shortly. Just give me a shot. But this is at about $1.52. Yeah, so it actually is above $1 now. So I'll take that back. That is now on the list. Yep. So I will add that now as a early morning watch. Thank you. All right. So let's see. HTGM is on the radar today. All right. Now, as far as this goes, we'll see what it does at the open, but let's see what the news is. Next event, RA profiling and drug discovery. Okay, that's not really a great headline. Let's see if there's anything else. All I see is it's on top pre-market gainers, but I don't see any specific news for this morning. So we'll just say this is moving for unknown reasons for this morning, but whatever the case may be, there it is. All right, so that one did move strongly, as I mentioned, on Friday. Now it's really on the run today. Probably a lot of people are talking about this stock too, so worth keeping an eye on. All right. Let's see what's next. Okay. Tonix Pharmaceuticals, they announced an exclusive license for a potential therapeutic for COVID-19. All right, the symbol is TNXP, which I believe is already on our list, but let me double check. No, it's not. Okay, I thought it was for some reason. So right now, this stock is trading at about 50 cents a share. It was at 37 or so, but it went to a high of 61 cents a share overnight. I'm going to add this to this list, but I'm not going to watch it at the open. So it's not for our on the open watch. I'm just adding it as a stock to keep in mind in the background, since it is not yet trading in the price range that I want. But if it gets there, then we'll see what we can do. All right. Other than that, let's see. We got some stocks that are down. Okay. So let's see. This one, AFMD is the symbol. That one I believe was already was that a new deal? I thought. No, that's I'll go over that in a second, but I think that was already known. There was a deal, maybe it was something about a different deal. But anyway, AFMD, so this stock right here, which is Afamed, I don't know how they pronounce it, but AFFIMED. Symbol is AFMD. This one currently is down sharply. It's down 27% roughly, down to about $1.50. News is, let's see, they must have reported, I'm guessing. Okay, citing lack of durability, Afamed scraps AFM 13 monotherapy plans for NK cell combo. And the analysts basically lowered their price target to $6. Pretty much the only two major firms that were following it. Trading lower after company announced top-line data from its phase 2 redirect study of AFM 13 monotherapy in patients with advanced stage relapse refractory peripheral T-cell lymphoma. All right, so this one might be something. I'll put this on the radar for this morning because it's down quite a bit. Don't know which way it's going to go, but it is exploitable in both directions. You can short sell the stock fairly easily, so should see some movement. One of the reasons, some of you have asked this question, even though technically you can short a hard to borrow stock in the challenge, but one of the reasons I don't think it's a good idea to do that is because with those stocks in real life, if they're hard to borrow, they're not going to go down very much. So you want to make sure that you're taking all the advantages you can. But if you can exploit it, no problem. Just always be aware of the circumstances is all I'm saying. That it'll be harder for it to go down if it's not shortable. Okay. I've got a bunch of kind of stragglers here as far as stocks that are moving. I'm just going to skip them because there are too many to name. Here's one that actually looks interesting. APVO. Well, actually, before I forget, HCMP was mentioned. So I thought this was already... No. Okay. Well, for that one, HCMP is basically... $28 billion. Yeah, so that deal is basically done. If they've already made the agreement, then there's not going to be any opportunity to really trade the stock. So that would be something I would just say, oh, well, it would have been nice. But now that it has been bought out, or at least the agreement has been reached, the stock is basically just going to trade near that price until the deal is finished. And then it'll finally trade at exactly the buyout price. Okay, so APVO currently trading at $7.14, which puts it up over 100%. So obviously we'll put this on the radar for this morning. APVO again is the symbol. That is now on our radar for this morning. The news here. Let's make sure these are all in my... Let me TGM. Okay. Let's make sure these are all in my AFMD, APVO. Good morning. Okay, just wanted to make sure these were in my list. Okay, so that's on the radar for today as well. For this morning, that is. At the open. And let's see what else we got. All right, so that one's up because the company announced that APVO 436 in combination with something else and something else achieved 100% clinical benefit rate in a treatment of naive AML patients. AML. Every time I see AML, I think anti-money laundering. That shows my financial industry background. I don't know what AML means otherwise, but okay. Whatever it means. So apparently good news. Let's see what's next. That doesn't look too good. No, well. ACET. This is down 38.74%. That's it right here. And the reason it's down is because trading lower after a company announced safety and efficacy data from its ongoing phase 1 study of ADI-001 for potential treatment of relapsed or refractory B-cell NHL. News, apparently the treatment did not work. Whatever the data said must not have been good, so this one's in the toilet. This is also a good reason why you do need to be careful when you're in these sort of stocks if you're holding them. I've done the hold, believe me, I've done the buy and hold on these. Used to do it quite a bit years ago. In fact, when I was a coach at Prosper for a while, I was mostly following biotechs, but the dangerous part of the biotech stock is that it's all, if they're all R&D, if they don't have a product that they actually can sell to make them, a profit, then it's all R&D money and being spent. They don't actually make any money, and it's all dependent on the success of the drug. If the drug fails, the treatment fails, then the stock collapses. So then once they do succeed, if it's a treatment that can be sold, if it can make some money, then the bigger companies swoop in after the market, once there's a market for the product, or at least if everyone thinks there's going to be, then the bigger companies sweep in, they basically buy out, and then they move on, and they save themselves all the R&D, which is smart. These days, a lot of the bigger pharmaceutical companies don't really do R&D anymore. They just let other people take the risk for them. Let's see. All right. I don't see anything else that really stands out. So ACET, I will add that to our watch list for this morning as well. Now that one, hold on for 1 second. That is going to be none to borrow. So ACET, I'm about to put it on the list. That is a none to borrow stock, so it'll be harder for it to go down, but we'll see. So I'll put it on the agenda one way or the other, but we'll see if it actually goes down or not. Or it could go up. We'll see at the open. All right, HARP. Harpoon. Let me see. I mean, it is up. Oh, yeah, I saw this already. I didn't mention it. I kind of skipped it because I didn't think the volume was that good. Um, but it has been on the move for a while now, so I guess it's not so bad. Let's just put it on there. I did see that earlier, but I don't know, for some reason I really didn't think it looked that good. But I don't know. Maybe. I'll add it there. Okay, let's just look through our watch list really fast to see what's got the volume pre-market. MMAT still trading on some good volume. HDMP, I mean, nothing we can do with that. Like I said, it's already a done deal. Coupa, this might be something. It's now 78. Yeah, so let's keep an eye on Coupa. This is a stock that I've usually not been able to catch on a move. It's been on our list forever, but I usually miss the window of opportunity on this one. But I'll add it on the list today. Coop. Already got APVO. TXMP not trading at enough of a price, but now we know it's there. We'll see if it ever gets to where we want. For the most part, most of these other stocks, Summit looks like maybe. I'm not going to watch Summit at the open, but of course it's already on our watch list, so we'll see. Yep, I will in the coaching room when I get to it. So Jay, once I'm in the coaching room, which will be in about 30 seconds, I'll be uploading the watch list for you guys. Yep, where we're doing the challenge, the Funder challenge. That's okay. So that's the live broadcast. If you are a member of ours, then just jump over there now, and I'll be there in a second. Okay. All right, folks. So I think that's it for YouTube for now. Jumping into the funding room. If you're not a member of the funding room or you're just getting started, just make sure you jump over there. If you're not a member, make sure you sign up. All right, guys. See you in a second. Signing off.